Relegating the Word Short Story by Joseph Duke. Peter was standing at the door of Agatha's office. Agatha looked away from the computer screen as she asked, "Do you want me, sir?" "No, Agatha, but I perceive you want me rather for a good telling off. True or false?" "I wouldn't tell you off, sir. I'd only plead with you." "You overheard my conversation with Mr. Jackson?" "Yes, I did. Parts of it." "And you were displeased?" "I don't look displeased, sir, do I?" "In that case, I can go back to my office, can I?" "Before you go, sir, please don't do it." "Don't do what?" "Don't accept Mr. Jackson's offer." "Think before you talk, Agatha. Jackson is one of the main sponsors of this ministry. I can't afford to risk his goodwill." Agatha warned that Jackson's goodwill could destroy Peter's faith and everything he stood for, but Peter reassured his secretary that his faith was as solid as a tugboat. "Jackson could impose conditions on you that you might not be able to fulfill, conditions that could render you vulnerable." "Let's cross that bridge, Agatha, when we get to it, not before. For now, we need Jackson's assistance. The ministry is running on a deficit of almost £100,000. If the situation persists, you might not get your full salary at the end of the month, and of course, the rest of the staff team will be affected too. Is that what you want?" "No, sir, but I believe that God will make a way." Peter tried to convince Agatha that God had made a way for the ministry already, and that all they needed to do was to take advantage of Jackson's proposal. "Sir, may I ask, what's the reason behind Jackson's proposal?" "Why?" "Jackson's aim is to salvage the ministry, of course." "That's what you believe, right?" "What else do you want me to believe?" "Look carefully at Jackson and tell me he's the sort that loves God and his work so much as to promise to donate the sum of £100,000 to salvage the ministry." Peter drew a chair and sat opposite Agatha. "Have you known Jackson previously?" "No, but I know someone who has. Don't accept his donation, sir." "Unfortunately, Agatha, I have to accept it. The ministry is in a sink or swim situation as we speak, and I can't afford to let it sink." Peter rose and exited Agatha's office. At the close of office, Peter walked to the car park and found his secretary on the other side of the road waiting to catch a bus home. He drove up to her and flung the front passenger's door of his Mercedes 180 compressor open for her. "Jump in. I'll take you home." "Let me take the bus, sir. I'd rather not take you out of your route." "I'm not complaining." She got into the car quietly and slammed the door shut. "I can see you're tired and slightly angry, perhaps." "Why did you say that?" "The way you slammed the door." "I'm sorry, sir, but there's nothing more tiring than boredom." "Boredom? Don't forget to get some rest when you get home and catch some fun, too." "Fun? What fun?" "Anything that can cheer you up, I meant to say. By the way, how did you find the sermon yesterday?" "To be frank, sir, I didn't feel moved. It was so unlike your usual sermons. The convicting fire was missing from it. And why were you constantly looking in Mr. Jackson's direction?" "Come on, give me a break, Agatha. Not everyone wants a fire-filled sermon every time. Sometimes we turn the fire down. We give the congregation a break." "It's not as much giving the congregation a break as the motivation behind the break, sir. I like your boldness, Agatha, but on this occasion, I dislike it." "I apologize, sir." "You didn't need to apologize, but please spare me the trouble of telling me what or what not to do. Don't forget, I'm an anointed man of God, and I do only what I'm led to do." "I'm sorry, sir." "You don't need to be. Could you get in touch with Sarah and tell her Jackson would like to work with her?" "Why, sir, why would Jackson like to work with Sarah?" Peter's explanation was that Jackson was new to the ministry and to the district and needed someone to show him around and to assist him. "But the ushers can do that, sir." "No, they can't. Only Sarah can." But Sarah is a busy lady. She has a full-time job and she manages the affairs of the choir as well. Many of the ushers are unemployed. They can afford to take Jackson around the district. Just do as you've been instructed, Agatha, and don't make any suggestions to me. Sarah had some misgivings about the message Agatha had just delivered to her over the phone. She quickly got on the phone to Peter. Your instruction is a bit uncomfortable for me, sir. No, it shouldn't. I permit you to do whatsoever Jackson requests of you, okay? But why me, sir? There are lots of others you could have chosen to show Jackson around the district. You're the best person to do it, and that should be the end of the story, okay? Okay, sir? Within an hour or so, Sarah found a car parked right in front of her house. A tall, dark, grayish-haired man alighted from it and strode towards her front door. Sarah recognized him. He was Jackson. He pressed her bell. When she answered the door, a slight frown played on Sarah's face. Good evening, Sarah, he greeted. Good evening, sir, but I don't really know you. I haven't met you before, have I? Don't let that bother you. I know that you're the ministry's choir leader and that you have ambitions for fame and commercial success. I can help you achieve those dreams. I don't remember ever saying that to anyone. No, you haven't. But I can tell you crave success and fame. Crave? There was a surprised look on her face. Don't you want to become a sought-after gospel singer with multi-million-dollar recording contracts? Are you not beautiful and hungry enough for that? Do you want to bury your talents and dreams in Peter's ministry? Go and get changed and kindly accord me the opportunity to take you out. You came to take me out? I thought I was supposed to show you round the district. How did you know my address in the first place? Don't be naive, Sarah. You're not a baby. Peter knows my plans for you and he has endorsed them. So feel free and come along with me. Where are you taking me? I'm taking you to a nice restaurant where we can sit down and discuss your future and ambitions. You seem to be more concerned about my future and ambitions than I am. Why? I hear your enchanting voice every Sunday, and it gets me mad that you can afford to limit yourself in Peter's ministry in the name of loyalty. Your talent shouldn't go to waste. I promise to showcase you to the entire world. Come with me. He held out his hand to her, and she took it hesitantly. The Cupid restaurant was located in a quiet corner of an otherwise busy area. Its location appealed to Sarah. Classical music welcomed them as they sat by a window. A waiter came to them within minutes to take their orders. Sarah, thank you for obliging my request to bring you here. I have connections in the music industry that can set you up for life. When I've introduced you to them, you may never have to work again for the rest of your life. Yes, you'll be made for life. Trust me. How long have you known them? I've known them for many years, and they'll change your life. Believe me. Their orders arrived and they began to eat. Halfway through her meal, Sarah excused herself and got up to visit the washroom. When she had gone out of his sight, Jackson deftly slipped his hand in the back pocket of his trousers and picked up a powdery substance. Cleverly, he moved his hand over Sarah's drink, letting the substance drop into it, unnoticed by anyone. Sarah came back and resumed eating and drinking. Jackson was quietly pleased that his plans were working out. Eventually, the lady became very tired and fuzzy-headed. She lost her composure and became floppy. I think it's time for us to go, Jackson suggested. Sarah nodded weakly. He helped her up and led her out of the restaurant into his car. He drove her straight to his place and carried her upstairs to his bedroom before taking her to her place. When she woke up the following morning, Sarah was livid with rage. She called Jackson's phone repeatedly, but there was no reply from him. She became panicky and regretful. Why did she ever agree to go out with Jackson? Sarah called Agatha on her mobile phone. Good afternoon, Agatha. How are you? I'm fine, Sister Sarah, and how are you? I'm not fine, Agatha. Why not? What's the matter? Have you seen or heard from Jackson? No, I haven't. Why? Agatha, I strongly believe that I've been used and dumped. Why are you saying that, Sarah? Peter ordered me to show Jackson around our district as he's new. It turned out that Jackson knew his way around already. And what happened? The scoundrel took me to a restaurant, got me dazed and mentally disorientated, and took me to his address before dumping me at my place. When I woke up this morning, I discovered I'd been defiled. Defiled? Yes, defiled. No, Sarah, don't say that again. But it's the truth. My goodness, why did you allow that to happen to you? I said I was temporarily disorientated mentally, and he took advantage of me. You shouldn't have gone out with him in the first place. He said he wanted us to discuss my dreams and ambitions about becoming a commercially successful gospel artist. You didn't tell him you had such dreams, did you? No, I didn't. The clever skunk. Nemesis will catch up with him. Leave the matter with me, Sarah. I'll do my best for you, okay? Thank you, Sister Agatha. The following day, Agatha approached Peter's desk and stood transfixed before him like a carved image. You're not looking happy, my wonderful secretary. Do you have something against me? He asked. Yes, I do, she retorted. What is it? Search your conscience and you should find it. I don't need to search my conscience. It's clear, perfectly clear. Is it? Do you doubt me? Yes, I do. Why? What did you do to Sarah? What did she say I did to her? You laid a snare in her path. You set her up with Jackson, didn't you? Is that what she told you? Yes, and that's what you did. Why, sir? Don't ask me in such an admonishing tone. I'm your pastor. Listen, I only introduced Sarah to Jackson so she could get to know him personally and help him get to know the district better. That's not the truth, sir. Remember I told you there were unemployed ushers who could carry out that task rather than Sarah? You leased her out to Jackson as an inducement for the money you were asking him to lend you, didn't you? Point of correction, Agatha. Jackson promised to lend the money to the ministry, not to me personally. Don't forget, if the ministry were to sink today, you, I, Sarah, and everyone else would sink with it. Is that what you would want? No, that's not what I would want. Neither would I want the embarrassment that's looming over our heads. What embarrassment? Sarah might become pregnant and Jackson should be responsible for it. He should also be culpable for the criminal charge of rape. Peter got stunned and dizzy at this point and almost crashed to the floor. Agatha rushed to steady him. Who told you that? He asked with a grave concern. Sarah told me herself. Was she serious? Yes, your friend raped her. He's not my friend. He's only a member of the congregation. No, sir, don't say that. Jackson isn't just a member of the congregation. He's one of your inner circle of friends. Shut up, Agatha, you know too much. Perhaps not too much, but just enough to speak the painful truth. I said shut up, Agatha. No, I won't. You shoved yam peelings towards the goat and expected him to preserve them? Don't call my friend a goat. You're right, sir. Jackson is your friend and not just a member of the congregation. But what are we going to do about Sarah? Peter said he could say nothing about that until he had visited Jackson. Jackson has moved out of his address and you can't find him anywhere in London. What a shame, Peter exclaimed regretfully. It's more than a shame, sir. Just then, Sarah burst into Peter's office. Good to see you here. Good to know you haven't run away like your friend. Agatha, could you go to your office while I deal with this schemer? Why would you call me a schemer, Sarah? Peter asked, pretending to be angry. Because that's what you are. Pretentious, scheming man. Agatha got up from her seat, went over to Sarah and tried to persuade her to sit down so they could talk and resolve the issue. No, Agatha. This has gone beyond resolution. Peter has betrayed me. He sold me to the devil in disguise. I didn't sell you, Sarah. You're a grown woman with the power to make choices. I didn't have any choice, and you knew it. You dictated to me exactly what you wanted me to do with Jackson, and this is the result: shame and reproach. Agatha thoughtfully remarked, I knew it would come to this, sir, the moment you abandoned the true word of God for shallow motivational preaching. I warned you several times, didn't I? But you never bothered to listen to me because you were hell-bent on pleasing Mr. Jackson so he could fulfill his promise to you. Where is the money now? You would have done the same thing, Agatha. The ministry is sinking and needs to be salvaged. You picked on me to execute your salvage plans, didn't you? Sarah asked. You deceitfully placed a burden of sin and guilt on me in collusion with your friend. Now my hopes and aspirations are gone, together with the fake promises. Sarah placed her hands around Peter's neck in a chokehold. You can sink together with your ministry, for all I care. Peter was collapsing helplessly to the floor. There was an agonized cry from Agatha. Sarah, Sarah, let go of him. No, let him go and meet his incitors. Ancestors, you meant to say? No, I meant his incitors, the little wicked gods to whom he pours a libation every Sunday before coming on the pulpit. Agatha chuckled and tried to loosen Sarah's grip around Peter's neck, to no avail. The end.